Hi, I'm April Brown with Charity Auction World, and I'm here today at the beautiful estate of Cheryl Taylor. Now, Cheryl Taylor is quite a talented woman. She creates garden art out of concrete and then donates it to nonprofit organizations so they can raise more money at their next charity auction. Let's take a look at this beautiful sculpture.
This is an example of a leaf mold. It's actually that exact leaf mold is this version here. The bowl has been placed up a little bit deeper so that you can use it as a bird bath or a water feature. Hopefully something that could be created to let the water drip over the edges. We just took a collection of leaves and layered them to provide different texture. But what happens is each individual leaf gives a different layer, a different texture inside the cement mold. What we're doing now is we're preparing the sand mound so the leaf can have a very nice deep bowl. So you're going to take your two leaves, you're just going to kind of drape them over so that the leaf is supported by the sand mound, and we're going to try to capture these points and keep these points without losing the shape of the leaf. Okay, so what we're doing now is we are going to take the shovelfuls of the mix. We're going to put it on the leaf, which we've already coated with vegetable oil, so it'll be very easy, hopefully, to peel off. And you just kind of pat it in, keep it contained, pat it down to get rid of the air bubbles. And then we're going to wait for at least 2 days for this to cure and to set up before I turn it over and add them to the rest of the mix to begin the next step, which is to paint them, seal them, finish them, and make them gorgeous.
Cheryl, we are here with this great big reveal, and this is kind of interesting because you've got a kiddie pool, and you have this kiddie pool and you have it filled with rocks. Tell me a little bit about why that's important.
I like to use this pea gravel and contain it in a kiddie pool that already actually has holes in it so the water will drain out if in case any water gets in it. But this way you can mound up the cement leaf and let it get this really gorgeous exposed aggregate pattern around it.
Isn't that something? Now this is unusual. That is not a real leaf.
No, we had a little leftover cement, so what I actually have purchased leaf molds because I don't always have the opportunity to use a real leaf. I will use this rubber mold.
Now that would come in really handy, a leaf mold, if you were doing this the time of the year where it was hard to find real leaves, right?
Absolutely.
Now where would people find a leaf mold?
There's a really wonderful gal. Her name is Pam. She makes them. I've purchased them from her. Her store is up in Sultan.
Now this looks like a fabulous piece, but right now it kind of looks like a stepping stone.
Well, you could actually make these could be stepping stones as well if you make them thinner and real flat, real secure. This is some kind of a tropical leaf. It probably wasn't intended to be chopped up.
I actually brought that leaf to you, and that's from one of my houseplants that I bought at Home Depot. And it was huge, and I thought this would make a really interesting leaf, concrete leaf, and isn't that gorgeous?
Absolutely. Isn't it pretty?
So this is why it's important to butter the leaf before you put it in there, because that really pulled off nicely. And we buttered that with corn oil, didn't we?
Yes.
Is that what we used?
Yep. And there will be very minor cleanup, and then all we have left to do, you can leave this natural. You could seal it.
So the whole point of these stones is to create this edge. Isn't that? Now, would you use any other? Would you lay it on any other product? Could you lay it on broken glass or broken tile? Or
yeah, I have some glass marbles. I have broken granite. I have broken china. I have glass. You can anything you want.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Well, what holds a surprise for us here? I'm just dying to know. This is really fun because you're not exactly sure what you're getting until you turn it over.
Oh no, it's different every time. The one thing you can do is, keep your consistency of your mixture. Make sure that it's not too dry, not too wet. Let it cure. Leave it undisturbed. Seal it, protect it, and it'll last for years. What we're going to use today is just some acrylic paints that I have in water. We're going to water it down a little bit. I'm just going to apply a little dab. You can also use concrete stain and concrete acids. And that's our first color. Normally we would let this dry, but for today I'm just going to go ahead and add another color in there. So you can kind of see the different colors, layering of textures. A typical leaf, I will spend, I hate to admit it, but I'll spend at least an hour to 45 minutes painting each and every leaf. Maybe a little brighter color here. And then what will happen is, and you can see this is kind of a bronzy color with a bit of a shine to it. And what will happen is this paint will dry and the pigment from the acrylic paint will saturate the top color or the top layer of concrete, and then you can seal it. If it's not going to be used in a bird bath, go ahead and use like a Thompson's water seal product or just something to seal out the water from impregnating the cement, because if you leave it out in the winter, of course, cement and ice, it'll crack. So I get to create the art, the charity gets to have the cash that they definitely need, and the recipient, well, you get to have the object. So that's why I do it. I love it.
Well, thank you for joining us today on Charity Auction World, where we've created these beautiful bird baths for our next charity auction. See you next week.